Now let's change this label for full name, and that's after our select drop-down menu. We're going to create the input here with the type text. Then we have name, full name, ID, full name. Then if I go on a new line, class will be field and required. And lastly, title, please provide your full name. And then we can close input tag. I'm just going to do it like this. So that's our first line. And now if we copy this entire block, paste it underneath, we're going to create a few labels again. Label for, this time we're going to be doing this for the telephone. And what we also need to do is to copy this telephone and apply this to this row left, because this is where our validation messages going to be appended to. That's why we need the name of the class in this div. Okay, telephone, then we go for telephone, colon and star. Then similar thing for row right, we go for label for, and it's going to be email. And email, colon, star. Obviously class needs to be applied to this div as well. So if we copy the entire thing, paste it underneath, what we're going to do now, we can remove these classes from here. And we're going to create input tag. So input type, this is text for the telephone, name, telephone, and let me copy this. Then we have ID, telephone as well, new line, then we go for class, field, required. If you want the field to be optional, then simply don't apply this required class to it. And then after this class, new line, title will be please provide your telephone number. And then we close the input. I'm going to copy this entire input tag, paste it in the other div. This time we're looking at email. And it's going to be an email type as well. As we are using HTML5 here, we can use this tag. Then please provide your valid email address. So that's it. Now if we copy this entire thing again, paste it underneath, and now it's time for the inquiry. So we're not going to be having left and right here. So if I remove, actually I can remove all this. Let's do it like this, and we're going to have class inquiry attached to this row, this div with the class row, so inquiry. And then we go for the label for, and let's copy this rather than misspell it, inquiry. And let's make it mandatory as well. Then copy the entire thing, paste it underneath. And what we need now is the text area. So text area with the name, inquiry, and then ID the same. We have a class of area required, and then a title as well. Please provide your inquiry, I guess. Okay, and then closing text area tag. So our form is nearly completed. We've got all of the fields we wanted, but we haven't got our submit button. And not only, because we also need a container for all of our files. And all this is going to happen outside of the form. So we're going to have another div after the closing form tag with the class row. And inside of this one, we're going to have div with the ID file list with a capital L. And it's going to be just an empty div. Then we have another div with the ID of file upload. again is going to be an empty one, and then ahref with the hash. Then we go for class a button green, and submit. So all these classes, and then after this, what we're going to have data target attribute, and data target will contain the ID assigned to the form, so that it knows which form should it basically trigger on click event. So form contact. As you may remember, our form has ID form contact, so that's what we're going to be triggering when we're clicking on the specific link. Submit, which will look like a button, by the way. Submit and query. Okay, I think that's everything. Let me just quickly check. We've got all the tags closed. So now we can save it, we can close it, and move to the next video.